This is Algebra 1. We're on Unit 0, and we're going to try to get through a few lessons today. We're going to try to hit Lesson 2, and 3 and 4 are going to be coming from a foldable. So, adding, pretty basic. 85 plus 36. What do I do? And you get XP if you want to participate. Quiet raised hand. I see 2 hands. Math is not about speed, though. I'm not going to call on the first 2. Who knows how to do 85 plus 36? Tell me the first step. Raised hands. Now I see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, Andres.
First, you do 5 plus 6.
Okay, that's 11.
Yes.
So what do I do with the 11?
You carry the 1 on top of the 8 and put the 1 right there.
Perfect. And then next, I'm just going to add all of these up. So 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. I can put the 12 over here. Thank you. And let's see if I can go really quick on this. So Andres, I can give you points for correct answer. Thank you. And going on to example 2. What is the first step when I'm going to be adding decimals now? Quiet raise hand if you know what to do to set up this problem. 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands. Raise them high. 4 hands. Jose. Line them up with the decimal, exactly. So 1.123 and 21.2. All right, and this is another trick that you can do too if you want. You can add zeros, as many zeros after the decimal place as you want. I don't really need those zeros, but if I add these zeros, it helps me just keep the place. All right, and then same step as before, and I'm going to come back and give Andres your XP for correctly answering. Same step as before, add straight down. So 3 plus 0 is 3, 2 plus 0 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3. Carry the decimal down. 1 plus 1 is 2. Ooh, I see a hand. And 2 plus 0 is 2. Jose, what's up?
You gave the XP to
Wrong person?
What? No, I answered.
Okay, sorry. I can go back and undo that. All right. Are there questions about example number 2? All right, then subtracting. You already have this problem copied down ahead of time. What is the first step when I'm subtracting? I see Monse's hand. I see Sergio. I see lots of hands. Let's go with Sergio.
You take from 4 and give it to the 3.
Okay, so now I have 13 instead of 3, and I took from 4, so that's 3. Then what do I do?
And you subtract 13 plus 7 equals 6.
All right. And 3 minus 1, 2. Perfect, thank you. And I'll give it to the right person. I don't know why it goes up and down like this. It's really weird. But yes, so where are you, Sergio? It's by first name. Perfect. All right, perfect. That's subtracting. We all know how to add and subtract. Give me a fist of 5. 5 means I am really confident in adding and subtracting. 1 means I have no idea. I just woke up. What's going on? Fist of 5. All right, hopefully those should all be 5s. The final will have adding and subtracting, I guarantee it. All right. So let's move on to the next part. Just still in review mode. Let's do long division. Long division. I just want to do one example. So what example are we on? We are on example 4 now. So let's do 3 into some big number. Let's do 1631. We'll get, we'll definitely have a remainder, and we'll have to deal with that. All right, sidebar. How do I know if a number is divisible by 3? Does anyone know the trick? How do I know if 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, is this number 1,111,000? So this is 111,111,111. Do I know if this number is divisible by 3? Does anyone know the trick? Here's the trick. Add up each of the numbers. 1 plus 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 1. What does that add up to? Shout it out. 9. Is 9 divisible by 3? Yes. So this whole number is also divisible by 3. Fun trick, right? So 1631. Is this number divisible by 3? I hear a lot of no's. 1 plus 6 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 is not divisible by 3. Therefore, this number is not divisible by 3. That's how we know that we're going to have a remainder. Fun little trick. All right, so quiet raised hand. What do I do first in long division? I see Jose's hand. I see Sergio's hand. I see Fernando's hand. I want more hands. I know summer has been a long time. Got a little bit rusty. All right, Gunnar, is your hand up? You want to get some XP? You get XP for even trying. Let's do it. Tell me what to do.
You see how much times that 3 goes in, or you
You're okay. Take your time. I heard you say how many times 3 goes into, and then you kind of cut off. But I think that first part is good.
how much times 3 goes into one task and say something.
All right. So it's a little bit hard to go into this entire thing. Is there a smaller part of this number that we can see if it goes into? 16, exactly. So, and then to get your XP, how many times does 3 go into a 16 without overflowing? I see lots of hands, but I'm going to give it to Gunnar still. I appreciate how many people are willing to participate, though. Thank you.
5.
Good job. Yes, 5. And then I'm going to do 3 times 5, 15, so I know how much I overflowed. I overflowed by 1. All right, so let me give you your XP before I forget, and hopefully it's the right person this time. Perfect. All right, next step. Someone, quiet raised hand. What do I do? Long division. I see Montse's hand. Fernando, I see Cohen. A lot of hands. Good. Cohen, go for it. Bring down the 3. And then repeat. So how many times does 3 go into 13? 4. So I get 12, and I see that I overflowed by 1. And then it's the same step over and over again. Cohen, this starts with a C, so there you are. And I'm going to bring down the 1 again. How many times for quiet raised hand does 3 go into 11? Montse. 3 times, and then I get 9. Montse. And when I get that, I can't bring any more numbers down. This is 0.00. I could do decimals, but I'm lazy and I'm done with this example. I'm just going to say the remainder is this guy. The remainder is 2. Oh, man. Yeah, that was awesome. Good job, guys. Good job. That's positive and hardworking right there. All right. And then finally, we're going to get into fractions. Fractions is the last part of what I consider to be lesson 2. So fractions. I don't know. I double clicked on it. That's why it came up. Okay. I just want to click on blue. Fractions. All right. So let's try adding some fractions with our example now is 5. I usually try to color code black for examples. Example 5. Let's do 1/2 plus 1/3. All right. So after you copy down the problem, think about what the first step is. I don't want to know the answer. I just want to sequentially set this problem up. Why can I not just add straight through? That's the first question. Why can I not just do 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5? Why is 2/5 not the answer? What do I have to do first? What's the problem? Talk to me. Quiet raise hands. 1 hand, 2 hands, 3 hands, 4 hands. Jessica, go for it. The denominators are not the same. Perfect. And how do we make them the same? Do you have an idea of that also? Okay, perfect. We'll hand it off to someone else. How do we make the denominators the same? Josie.
Okay, so you have to add 1 plus 3.
I have to add 1 plus 3. Which one are you doing? Are you doing this, the one on the left or the one on the right? The one on the right. So you're adding this 1 to this 3? Never mind. Okay, that's okay. You still get points for trying. Thank you for participating. So you still get the 20 XP. Does someone else want to help Josie out? I see lots of hands. Let's go with Andres.
Okay. You add the one that's on the left
So you add this 1 and this 3, is that what I'm hearing? All right, and then that's going to get 4. Am I going to put the 4 on the top or the bottom? 4, all right.
Just do 2 plus 1, the numbers that are left, and that's 3, so 4 thirds.
4 over 3 like that, so you're adding now the 2 and the 1?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, class, what are we doing? I know that this is kind of a giveaway, but as a teacher, I just write down what you say. If it's incorrect, I'm still going to write it down. If it's correct, I'm still going to write it down. I expect you guys to catch errors. So I kind of give it away. There is an error up here. If someone wants to catch it, that's XP. Sergio, talk to us.
You're supposed to multiply the denominator by the same number to get the same answer.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. You're going to have to somehow use the denominators and multiply. So Andres, you're close, but thank you for trying. You still get your XP. I always appreciate people that try in this class. The problem is that we don't have the same denominator. So what we're going to have to do is multiply a fraction by 1. If I multiply anything by 1, it's still the same fraction. Can we all nod our heads? Yeah, multiplying by 1 stays with the same answer. But instead of writing 1, I can write something over itself. If I write 2 over 2, that's the same thing as 1. So I can multiply by 1 with giant air quotes here by multiplying by 2 over 2. That's a problem because I'm still not getting the same denominator, the same bottom number. Does anyone have an idea of what, and I'm already going to give this over to you again, Sergio. Do you have an idea what we should multiply 1/2 by? Something over something so that we can get a same bottom, a same denominator? What number over the same number should we multiply by? I see Fernando's hand. Forgot? Okay, but you had the right answer in terms of, so this was, I'm going to get faster and faster with this. Sergio, you caught the error. That was a student error. That's 20 XP. And I see Fernando's hand. Fernando, what should we multiply the top and bottom by?
9.
By 9? 9 and 9? How'd you get 9?
Well, because maybe I don't know. I was just trying to find the same denominator for both numbers. And 9 times 2 equals 18, and 3 times 6 equals 18.
Yeah, so that'll work. Okay, let's see that. So he says that I can get both of those numbers to 18. 2 times 9 will give 18. 3 times, and he just said 6 will give me 18. He saw that both 2 and 3 can get to 18. So if I multiply 1/3 by 6 over 6, remember this is just multiplying by 1. I'm always allowed to multiply by 1 to keep the same number. And if I multiply 1/2 by 9 over 9, then they both have 18 for the bottom, 18 for the denominator. I'll let you absorb that for a few seconds. We're trying to get both of these to the same number. 18 was the one that Fernando saw. There are any number of numbers that you could have chosen. I could have chosen 3 over 3 and 2 over 2. Any pair that will get the denominators to the same point. So I'm going to carry out this operation now. So 9 times 1, shout it out. 9 times 2, shout it out. 1 times 6, shout it out. And 3 times 6. Now we have the same denominator. Now we can add straight across. So make sure that I go back here. Fernando, give you your XP. Someone tell me what the final answer is. Quiet raised hand. Yes, let's go with Jennifer. 15 over 18. Everyone do a thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you agree or disagree? Everyone has to vote. Thumbs up or thumbs down? I see some people not voting. Most of them are thumbs up. That is the correct answer. Box the correct answer. Good job. Thank you, Jennifer. Oh, why does it do that? Okay. I guess I have to use my...
Can you simplify it after?
Oh, that's a great question. So 15 over 18 is correct, but if my instructions say to simplify, then it is not correct. So now let's add an additional set of instructions. Let's say simplify. Okay, now this is no longer the correct answer. So now I would erase it, but I can simplify this to something else. Can someone raise their hand to simplify this for us? See quite a few hands. Let's give it to Jose.
5, 6.
5, 6. How did you get that? Divide both of what?
15 and 18.
Okay, the numerator and the denominator. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 18 divided by 3 is 6. Perfect, yeah. That is the simplified answer. Can you simplify the simplified answer? That's a good question. I'll ask that back to the class. Can we simplify that any further? I see a lot of people shaking their heads no. Why no? Someone shout out, why not? 5 can't be divided. Does that mean 5 is a certain type of number? Do we remember the name for that? Can anyone shout out the name for when you can't divide anymore? What? Say it again. Prime number. Yeah. Once you have a prime, you're stuck. Yeah. Is that what you're going to say too? All right. Prime number. Yeah. So let's go give Gunnar your XP. All right. So that was fractions. That's just adding. Adding and subtracting are very similar. It's just the difference between if you're adding or subtracting the numerators, but the denominators, you always have to make sure you have like denominators, the same denominator. We'll do some work on this on the homework, but I want to make sure that we know how to multiply. So this is going to be example 6. Let's do 2/3 times 6/7. And just as an aside, there are 3 ways in this class that I will, actually there's 4. 4 ways that I will say multiply. Multiply will either be this dot, which is different than an open circle. So this means multiply. I should label this multiply. Please write this down in your notes. Multiply can be a dot. It can be this X, like a times crossing. It can be parentheses, like if I have 2 terms next to each other. Or sometimes it will just be one term and parentheses. So like a number and parentheses. These 4 things all mean multiply. So this right here is one of those terms, so I'm multiplying these fractions. All right, quiet raised hand. What do we think we're going to do with this problem? 1 hand, 2 hand, 3 hand, 4 hand, 5 hand. Julian, talk to me.
Is multiply across.
Multiply straight across. You're right. So 2 times 6, 12. 3 times 7, 21. Done. But if I were to ask you to simplify, then we wouldn't be done. And I think from now on, can we just always assume that we have to simplify? Even if I don't say the instructions, let's always say that we have to simplify. Jessica, talk to me. How'd you get 4/7? Divide the top by 3, divide the bottom by 3, the numerator and denominator by 3, and I agree. Yeah, 4/7. That's our final answer. Let me make sure to give XP. So first it was Julian, and then second it was Jessica. Perfect. All right. And the last thing, this is the very last example for lesson 2, and that is going to be example 7, which is dividing. Let's now do 2/4 divided by, let's make it 3/9. Last example for our first lesson. And how are we doing on time? Okay, I guess we're only getting through 1 lesson today, and that's fine. I want to make sure that we really understand this. Raise your hand. What are we going to do? What's the first step to solving this problem? I see Fernando's hand. I see Gunnar yawning. All right, I see Cohen's hand. Only 2 people know how to solve this problem. Okay, that's fine. We'll give it to Fernando.
Keep it, change it, flip it.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, so in red. You need to have this memorized. Keep it, change it, flip it. Keep it, change it, flip it, bop it, twist it. Oh no, that's a different game, sorry. I'm writing this below, that way I can do arrows. Keep it refers to the first fraction, change it refers to the operation, and flip it refers to this right-hand fraction. So Fernando, thank you. All right, 4xp. What is another name for flip it? I'm taking the, starts with an R. I see Cohen knows. Other people know. Cohen, you've been patient. Yeah, what is it? Reciprocal. Yeah, keyword over here. We'll be learning about this word more formally in a second, probably in like next week, but reciprocal. That is the equivalent of flip it. I'm taking the reciprocal. So after I apply these operations, I'm going to keep it 2/4. I'm going to change it from a division to a multiply symbol. And then flip it, take the reciprocal, 9/3. Now it's multiplication, which is the same as example 6. I'm going to repeat that because I was talking while you were writing. Once I see 90% of our pencils on our papers, then I can repeat that rule. This is now the same as example 6. I'm multiplying straight through. I multiply the tops, multiply the bottoms. All right, quiet raise hand. What is the new fraction unsimplified? You don't have to simplify it. Not quite yet. Jennifer. 18/12. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Agree or disagree? Perfect. Oh, yeah, perfect. And then quiet raised hand. Someone to simplify that. Quiet raised hand. Who can simplify that? We'll give it to Sergio.
6/4.
6/4. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Do you agree or disagree? Is that a thumbs up? That's a thumbs down. Oh. Most of us are thumbs up?
You can't do it again.
So you'd be a thumbs down? Yes. Okay. Yeah, so that is simplified a little bit more, but it's not all the way simplified. Do you want to correct yourself? See if you can simplify it any further? Is there anyone that can correct this word?
My answer was 3 seconds.
3/2, yeah. Perfect. So you... Okay, so this is how it's going to work. Fernando, you get points for attempting to answer, and Fernando, you get points for correcting your answer, correcting your own student error. Oh my gosh. Okay, I need to go back and fix this. Sergio, attempt to answer, and Sergio, finding your own error. All right, go ahead and write your summaries now. Is there anything in this lesson that you really want to memorize? If I put a giant star by it, that probably means it should be in your summary. Your summary should have a minimum of 2 bullet points. So at the very bottom of your paper, there's an area for your summary. Bullet points. What were the main takeaways from this lesson? If you think that your summary is good enough, raise your hand and I will check your summary. If it's good enough, I will hand off the homework. If not, I'll tell you what to add to it. That concludes this lesson.